All right, we're getting some more updates as far as the Herald House drama is concerned. Now, Mallikarjun Kharge of the Congress Party is at Herald House. Remember, the ED yesterday had said that they're only temporarily sealing the Young India office because there was nobody available officially from their side, from the YIL side, to get the searches conducted. And as the searches were still midway, they sealed it till somebody comes and makes themselves presents themselves. And Mallikarjun Kharge was the one who was actually summoned to get these searches conducted and concluded. So it looks like he's there today in that capacity. But for a confirmation on that, let me also go across to my colleague Siddhant, who's joining us. Siddhant, anything that Mr. Kharge is saying? Is he here to cooperate with the ED?
Well, this is exactly what I asked Mr. Kharge, and in fact, the office of Young Indian has been sealed by Enforcement Directorate. It would be interesting to see whether Mr. Kharge can get inside the office. A, B, is Mr. Kharge here on the request of Enforcement Directorate? Because yesterday, this information we received from Enforcement Directorate that they couldn't conclude the raids because Mr. Kharge, who is the principal officer in Young Indian, was not present at the time of raid. So is this a reason that Mr. Kharge has arrived? That is something to be seen. Can we expect Enforcement Directorate's team again at Young Indian office in Herald House? That is something yet to be seen. But I have put up those questions to Mr. Kharge that what does he has to say on the raids and the way Young Indian office was sealed. He said that whatever he has to say, he has said in the parliament. I also asked him about his visit to the Herald House, to which he refused to comment. Now he has gone upstairs along with him. His security has also gone to Young Indian office. Now we really don't know the status, but there you see this is the office, the main gate of Herald House, and in fact the Passport Seva Kendra office is also in the same building. So this is the single entry which everyone uses to get inside this very building. Now Mr. Kharge has gone inside. We can expect Enforcement Directorate's team as well, because he's the principal officer, and in fact the raids couldn't get over yesterday because he was not present. And on same ground only, the office of Young Indian was sealed by Enforcement Directorate.
Yes, and that's the argument that several people were making. These searches are ongoing. Obviously, such a property then cannot be left open because there is evidence that needs to be protected. Siddhant, just stay with me. I'm getting some more breaking updates that are coming in on this story, and ED sources are once again breaking down just what went down as far as the sealing, the temporary sealing of the Young Indian office is concerned. Now, the ED is saying they were forced to do so. They were forced to seal the Young Indian office at Herald House because Mallikarjun Kharge purposely did not join the search operations. One mail was sent in the afternoon to Kharge, another one in the evening. Both Pawan Bansal and Kharge came to Herald House in the evening. Despite personal request of investigating officer, they went out. They came but left without any message. Is that why the sealing was absolutely necessary? Ashish Maharishi, who tracks the ED very closely, is joining us. Ashish, you know, this is not really looking very well for the Congress leaders, even as they created such a hullabaloo about the sealing of the Young Indian office.
So the Enforcement Directorate team left at around 2:30 in the midnight, and they just kept on waiting for the officer, the concerned principal officer, that is Mallikarjun Kharge. Now my sources in the ED tell me that two mails were sent, one in the afternoon, one in the evening. And interestingly, it's not only mail. Kharge personally, along with Pawan Bansal, was present there, came there. The investigating officer requested them to join the probe and complete the search operation. But interestingly, they immediately escaped out of that area. Within 10 minutes, they left the area. So this certainly leaves a little bit of surprise. And as I was saying yesterday as well, the Congress is making absolute hue and cry about this incident, about the office being sealed. But then this is a process of law. And if the principal officer in this case, Mallikarjun Kharge, was not cooperating, then there was no other option for the Enforcement Directorate but to seal the premises. So here, despite two mails, despite personal requests, Kharge did not join, and that is why there was no other option but to seal the premises.
Ashish, yesterday when the Congress did a press conference, immediately after the news of the sealing came to light, even though they didn't quite directly address it, Abhishek Manu Singhvi was asked a question about it, and he said, I don't know if this is procedural. What is the ED telling you? Is there any challenge that can be mounted to the sealing of the office?
So, whenever there is a search warrant for a premises, that search warrant needs to be completed. Young Indian office was one of the premises that was supposed to be searched. Since there was nobody in the premises, no occupant was there, so there was no other option that the Enforcement Directorate had to call somebody and complete the search operation. That is procedural. That is a part of the process, and the law has to take its own course.
Okay.
So here, despite the personal request, despite email request, the Congress, especially Mallikarjun Kharge, did not respond to those requests, and that is why there was no other option but to seal the premises.
All right. Ashish, thank you for breaking down those details for us. Whether the Congress party will respond to that, what the ED is saying, remains to be seen. But this is what Rahul Gandhi said earlier today.
आप नेशनल हेरल्ड की बात कर रहे हैं
जी सर।
देखिए ये पूरा इंटिमिडेशन का अटेम्प्ट है। ये सोचते हैं कि थोड़ा सा मतलब प्रेशर डाल के हमें चुप कर देंगे, कुछ नहीं होने वाले जी। जो इस देश में नरेंद्र मोदी जी, अमित शाह जी कर रहे हैं लोकतंत्र के खिलाफ, उसके खिलाफ हम खड़े रहेंगे, चाहिए कुछ भी कर। हम इंटिमिडेट नहीं होंगे, हम नरेंद्र मोदी से नहीं डरते हैं। समझ गए बात? कर लें जो करना है, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा। जो मेरा काम है देश की रक्षा करना, लोकतंत्र की रक्षा करना, देश में जो हार्मनी है उसको मेंटेन करना, वो मैं करता रहूंगा जी। ये जी। कुछ भी कर लें।
ईडी के बारे में सर आपने ईडी के बारे में बोला कि प्रधानमंत्री को जो कुछ करना है कर ले, और क्या है? और क्या मतलब आप डरने वाले नहीं? ना, बिल्कुल नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं डरने वाले। मोदी से तो मैं मतलब बिल्कुल नहीं सर। लगातार ये बात और लगाएं और बैरिकेडिंग।
और सर आपको जिस तरह से कल AICC मुख्यालय को भी बैरिकेड किया गया है,
सच्चाई को बैरिकेड नहीं करा जाता। कल भी हुआ बढ़िया, और करिए सच्चाई को बैरिकेड क्यों करना चाहते हैं? राहुल जी कल जो आप लोग का फैसले में वो कैरी है,
तो टेस्ट नहीं कर सकते। नोटिस आया है किसी ने इनको कहा था कि अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट पर टेस्ट नहीं कर सकते।
पुलिस ने मना किया, पुलिस ने मना किया है, परमिशन नहीं दे रही पुलिस का। आप लोग का प्रोटेस्ट जारी रहेगा।
Let me also go across to my colleagues Pallavi and Siddhant, who continue to join us live. Pallavi, coming to you first up, is there a sense within the Congress party that they cannot quite question what the ED is doing vis-a-vis the Young Indian office sealing, which is why the Congress is talking more about their protests and the barricading and making an issue out of that?
But I think it's a mixed kind of a reaction coming in from the Congress party. But, I think the Congress also did anticipate that there's a possibility that the ED could visit either the Congress headquarters or the residence of Mrs. Sonia Gandhi. And that's the reason why all the workers and protesters have been mobilized. They're also here for tomorrow's big anti-price rise protest as well inside the AICC headquarters. For the Congress, it's actually a catch-22 situation and a dilemma, I would say. While they have often been accused of focusing only on the Gandhis and not on the Aam Aadmi, they decided to have tomorrow's protest on price rise. But should the ED go one step ahead, which could possibly mean a visit by them to the Congress office or to the residence of the Gandhis, then they would be forced to take that issue up as well, which means they invite this criticism that at the end of the day, their protests are not about the Aam Aadmi, but it's only about the Gandhis. But yes, just to answer your question very quickly, and Shivani, the point is that the Congress does want to make this an issue because they feel that, they can mix it up with the fact that while the government's focus really should be on price rise, they are trying to divert that attention by, kind of focusing it on unleashing the ED and the CBI on their political opponents. Yeah. And that's what the Congress says they want to expose.
Yes, and that's why these issues have become quite merged. Even though they're not just raising the single issue of the Herald House sealing, they are talking about their planned protests. They're talking about the threat of the siege mentality, of how the opposition is under siege by the government and the agencies. My colleague Anshul is actually joining us from the AICC, which is the All India Congress headquarters. Anshul, what are the scenes like there? Are there any preparations for tomorrow's big protests?